Warm welcome, Stora Aktiedagen in Stockholm, and would like to address my warm welcome to CEO Mikhail Damrin. You are the CEO of mining company Kopy Goldfields. Please welcome Michael, and I leave the screen for you.
Thank you very much. My name is Mikhail Damrin. I'm CEO of Kopy Goldfields, and I will be glad to present you Kopy Goldfields, the plans of the company, and our aspirations. We are a Swedish company listed on Nasdaq First North, and we produce gold and explore for gold in Russia. We are listed on Nasdaq First North. We have a market cap of around $250 million. We have more than 5,000 shareholders. We're preparing for the main market listing on Nasdaq. Our production last year was 53,000 ounces of gold, and this year we have a target of 56 to 59,000 ounces. And within less than 4 years, we're targeting to double production to go above 100,000 ounces of gold via organic growth. We have a few exploration projects, one development project. We have 4 producing mines and 2 processing plants. And we operate in Irkutsk and Khabarovsk regions of Russia. From investor point of view, choosing among many mid-size, small-size gold producing company, I think there are 5 pillars which really differentiate Kopy from many others. First, we are a producer. We have strong cash flow. We have strong balance sheet. We can finance our explorations and capital growth from the cash flow. The second thing is that it's asset portfolio. We have a very diversified asset portfolio with projects in all different stages, from exploration to development, construction, and production. From the mine perspective, it's important to be able to prove that the company will be able to stand in mining for many years ahead. The third thing is track record. We might be a mid-tier company and maybe not that much familiar by investors. However, we have a long track record in the industry. We, as Kopy Goldfields, we have been listed since 2010 as a junior gold exploration company, and then have more than 14 years experience now in Russia. And our producing asset, the company we merged last year, Amur Gold, they are one of the oldest gold producing companies in Russia. They were started in the 1970s, and over more than 45 years now, they have been doing projects, and they have a track record of successful development projects from early stage into production and then mine closure. Fourth thing is that's a growth strategy. We are targeting to double production less than 4 years organically, based on the projects which we have in control and which are already either in production or in construction. And we're targeting to be a green miner. We are committed to the ESG best practices. Looking a bit more in details for our geography, all our producing mines are in the Russian Far East, on the bank of Pacific Ocean. It's Khabarovsk region, one of the major gold producing area in Russia. We have our production, development and exploration projects there. And in Irkutsk region, not far from one of the most famous Sukhoy Log project, we have our other projects called Malый Patan, Krasny. Looking into the asset portfolio, as a mining company, when we produce a deposit, we mine gold, mine reserve. We are based on the gold production, we receive cash flow, but at the same time, we deplete our reserves. That really means that each mine has a certain life of mine. That's really the time when the reserves is produced. And for the company to be in mining for a long period to be able to prove that we can survive 10 and even more years. The company needs to have a portfolio of assets with projects in production, in construction development, in pre-development, exploration, and also early stage projects. And we are really happy to have all these type of projects within our pipeline. I need to mention that all our producing assets have been started as greenfield exploration project, where basically there are no resources, no reserves. However, some exploration upside, some know-how of geologists, some expectations, and then it goes through prospecting, then exploration. Some of the projects survive to pre-development, feasibility, construction, and then production. And also we have experience of completing 4 bedrock mines, really closing the mines and making reclamation of the area. So not many mining companies have this experience, and we're happy that within the company we can do everything. And based on the projects which we have, based on the reserves, we are targeting to double production by 2025. The major outcome will come from Yubileyny project, and also which is in production currently, and from Malutka project, which is in construction currently. Out of the other projects, I need to mention Krasny, which is in pre-development stage. We finalize exploration program. We do it in a partnership with our partner GV Gold, which is one of the major gold producing companies in Russia. On top of organic growth, we have also upside from Krasny. Krasny is not included currently in the production target. We don't include any non-organic growth possibilities, and also we don't include exploration at the moment. So we're fairly conservative with our production target as we see. Looking on the mining cycle, we have 2 processing plants. One is Yubileyny on Krasivoye underground mine, and the second is Perevalnoye, where we have 2 open pit mines, Priyatnoye and Brekchevoye. And the processing plant at Priyatnoye Brekchevoye makes together with them Perevalnoye project. So this project, this processing plant takes the ore from open pits and then then producing concentrate. So currently the plant has throughput capacity of 160,000 tons of ore per year, and producing gravity and flotation concentrates, which are further moved to a Yubileyny mill at Krasivoye underground mine. Yubileyny mill has currently a throughput capacity of 130,000 tons of ore per year, and it's processing concentrates from Perevalnoye and also the ore from Krasivoye underground mine. And it's in the end, it's producing Dore gold bars, where the gold concentrate is around 30%. And then we further send the Dore bullions towards refinery, third-party refinery, which is producing bankable bullions. We're currently increase capacity at Perevalnoye. We add heap leach operations at Perevalnoye, and also we increase capacity of Krasivoye and Yubileyny from the current 130,000 tons of ore per year towards 250. And we're targeting to commission the increased capacity before the year end. Overall, we're using a fairly straightforward processing technology. It's CAP, both for Perevalnoye and for Yubileyny. Looking on the next slide, it very much targets where our production growth will be coming from. So it will be coming from Jubileum, which is in production currently. We increase capacity by the end of the year towards 250, both underground mine and the mill. Перевальная, heap leach operations, we add towards перевальная current CIP plant. We also last year commenced the construction at Malutka, which is a heap leach operations. Will be started in 2023 at the rate of 1.5 million tons of ore per year. Krasny is not included in the production target. It very much provides additional growth opportunities. Total capital cost to bring us towards above 100,000 ounces of ore gold production is around $130 million. They are financed by cash flow and established loan facilities. Most of financing is falling for this year, then 2022 and then 2023. On the next slide, we look on the results of the third quarter. Last year, we published Q3 report. It's available on our website. Q3 is we have a record gold production. We produced 21,000 ounces, and it's the best quarter within this year. Production over 2021 has been constantly increasing starting from Q1. Gold prices, the realized gold prices for Q3 2021 is 1,779, and we believe the price is excellent. It's above our budget price for this year, and if the gold price will stay in the current levels, we will be all more than happy. Record revenues in Q3 we got $33 million revenues, and that's far better than in Q2 and far better than Q3 2020. We have strong EBITDA, and EBITDA has been constantly increasing through the year. In Q3, and EBITDA $15 million. Q3 and 9 months of this year brought us and moved us towards a very robust balance sheet. We have by the end of Q3, we have $5.5 million as cash equivalents. We have gold in stock of 7.7 thousand ounces, but they can be sold within a day or two, and at the market price we will get up to $13.4 million. We have net debt of around $57 million, and net debt to EBITDA 1.3, so fairly low churn ratio. Why Russia? In terms of mining, especially gold mining, and even more gold exploration, I would say Russia is probably the best destination in the world at the moment. From geological perspective, most of Russian territory is not even explored with modern exploration methods for gold. We see enormous exploration potential everywhere, and this is what we have been doing in Kopy Goldfields during the previous 10 years as a junior gold exploration company. Now we are focused more on production, but still run quite a few greenfield exploration projects. Mining is the priority business in priority industries in many regions of Russia. So we have a full support from local authorities. In Khabarovsk, in the area we operate, we're probably the only employer, and we provide the full support for the local authorities in terms of infrastructure and in terms of the first contact in case of any emergencies. Russia has a lot of talent and skilled human resources, very good in mining. In terms of taxation, Russia provides excellent taxation, especially extra benefits for mining projects in Siberia and Far East. The permitting process is fairly straightforward. production costs. Russia is, as a legislation, is treated as a fairly low production cost destination, and among the lowest gold producer, quite a few Russian mining companies are. Favorable currency conditions. Most of our costs are in Russian rubles. Ruble has been weakening against US dollar since for the last 5 years. So we have a situation when the gold is traded in US dollars, have been increasing significantly over the years, and at the same time our ruble, the cost currency, have been decreasing. And Russia have a fairly good infrastructure in mind. Market for gold. Gold during the last year, the gold price have been very strong. It's the wrong business to make assessment what the gold price could be. However, currently the gold price is above our budget level. We do our long-term construction project, new project using the gold price 1400s, which is significantly lower than the current market price. So as we see, gold price at the current levels is significantly favorable to mining business and exploration as well. ESG and corporate governance. This is a priority for the company since the merger last year, when Kopy, in one basically day following the completion of the transaction, turned into a gold producer. So we have been putting a lot of efforts during this year into ESG agenda. So we have an ESG committee within the board of directors. We hired a person responsible for ESG issues within the top management team. We have done a review of all our ESG practices. We are developing and revise ESG policies for the company. Historically, we have very good relations with the local communities, since we are the only employer within the area. We have excellent relations with the local municipality. But we want really to advance and behave better than is just requested in Russia based on the local legislation. So we want really to turn the company into a green miner as much as we can. So our agenda going forward, we are a growth story. We want to double production less than 4 years. And I believe this is what significantly differentiate Kopy from many other gold producers. And we want to do that via organic growth based on the reserves which we have. The growth will come from the projects which are either in production, which is Yubileyny, where we increase capacity, and also from the project Malutka, which is already in construction. We have all the permits in place, so it's certainly and clearly not just the wishful thinking. We have the resources to arrive towards our growth target above 100,000 ounces. We have during this year, last year, and going forward, we have a fairly strong financial performance. We have solid balance sheet. We have available debt, which supports our organic growth and which provides financing for our growth. And we have a strong gold asset basis, a strong portfolio of projects. Total capital costs $130 million to be financed primarily from the cash flow, but also from the existing loan facilities. We are undergoing production expansion at the existing mines. So this year we are completing construction of heap leach operations at Perevalnoye, and also in Q4 we will commission increased capacity at Yubileyny. Krasny, this is currently one of our biggest exploration projects. We're advancing it towards the feasibility stage. Next year, we will update the resource report at Krasny, where we expect, based on the exploration results, that the resources should increase. And also, we convert majority of resources into reserves. We are committed towards the ESG framework and the development of ESG best practices. Next year, we will issue the first sustainability report in the company to start providing ESG database and statistics. And we're targeting main market listing on Nasdaq Stockholm shortly. That's very much all about my presentation of the company, and I will be happy to answer questions.
Thank you so much. That was really interesting. You just published your report for the third quarter the other day, and I mean, it looked quite good at a glance because you increased your the sales or your income, and you also increased your EBITDA. Even so, the market was a bit disappointed. I can see that the stock wasn't reacting in a positive way. So could you just sum up a little bit about your findings in the quarter?
Actually, can't comment on the investor performance, since investor has their own agenda.
No, of course, but on the report, would you like to?
On the report, yes.
I'm sorry if I wasn't clear, but.
No problem. Maybe I'm just too slow. It's really Q3. We have been advancing all our construction and growth projects. We have been advancing Yubileyny expansion. We have been advancing construction at Perevalnoye heap leach. That's very much the focus of the company on the operational side, was the advancing of growth projects, but also increased production. So Q3, we really were able to demonstrate excellent production coming from all of our projects, and we particularly got very good production from places. We had 2 places in operation, and the company has been a place producer for many years. Based on, sorry.
No, I'm sorry if I interrupted you. Please finish.
And then basically production has grown, sales has grown, and then since the gold price is fairly strong, so we were able to show good revenues, good sales, good EBITDA. We have been reduced our TCC, total cash costs. We have been reducing our all-in sustainable costs during Q3.
Could you, impossible question maybe, but could you say something about how would the results or the report look like if we hadn't had the COVID situation? Has it affected you?
Yes, it did. But from the mining point of view, I would say COVID affected us positively. Yes. I would say gold price increase was very much due to COVID. And I would say last year...
because people were searching for safe havens. Exactly. And, yeah.
Exactly. So it's affected both positive and negative. Positive, gold price went up, which is very good. Negative, obviously, we have all the restrictions on migration. So we have a restriction, and we have sort of pressure for recruiting people for the operators. Since mining, I think in every country, depends a lot on migration. So that's first thing. Second thing is the supply timing for procurement has increased. Some costs has increased. But on the other hand, the oil prices went down because of COVID. And that means that the fuel costs went down. So I would say when we talk about COVID, it did have an impact. But overall, for mining, it did a good impact.
Okay. And now, if or when we leave this all behind, maybe we'll never be completely, but what we can see from now on the near future, I mean, how will this affect you? Will it be, as you said, you will be easier to recruit probably, but how will, I mean, how will the opening up of the societies affect you?
Well, I would say it will make the life easier, as you are rightly saying. So yes, gold price might go in some direction, probably go down a bit. This is more or less what all the analysts are expecting. However, if it will go down, say, to whatever, 1600, 1700, it's very fine with us. On the other hand, hopefully, the costs might go down slightly due to, as you are rightly mentioning, due to less pressure over the employment, due to lower procurement cycle. Overall, investors might become a bit less risk averse. So because in mining, yes, we have production, but we also have exploration. And then we obviously, we're a mining company. We do mining and exploration, but there are a lot of just exploration companies. And then they have their own investors, and these investors with this COVID pandemic and fares the whole industry, they might say less be interested in investing in exploration. Okay. So I would say for us, it would be good as well. I would say life is good in general.
I read a summary, I think Bloomberg did, and they predict that in next year the gold price will land at about approximately $1,700 per ounce. That's about 10% lower than it has been during at least the summer and fall. Is that something that you agree on, or?
Well, I would say, as I mentioned, it's difficult to predict and comment on the gold price since all the analysts, if you will see, look their reports 2 years ago. No one expected COVID at all. No one expected
something else could arrive.
Exactly. Even after the start of COVID, no one was thinking about third wave of COVID. So I would say analysts, they make certain predictions. And we obviously, when we do our budgeting, when we do our forecasting, when we do our financial planning, we use all these recommendations and estimates from analysts very much to have a robust and conservative approach. So if the gold price will be 17, as Bloomberg is suggesting, that would be excellent for us.
Yeah. Well, impossible to talk about the black swans like COVID, but what about the interest rate? What can you estimate a bit on the effect, and what do you expect from the interest rates and the effects on your operations and your business?
Actually, it's difficult for me because I don't think that mining that much affected by changes in interest rates because of COVID. I'm not talking in general about mining, because mining it's a wide industry, but gold mining, I don't think so.
Okay, so let's dig into your operations more closely. As you mentioned in the latest report, you further advanced the construction project at, excuse me for my pronunciation, Jubelny and Pervalnue. You understand what projects I'm talking about, at least.
Yep.
And the target is to complete them before the year end. Could you explain what will this mean for your company, like for in production volumes?
Well, I would say this would be a significant development for the company because in terms of Jubileeni, we double processing capacity. We double production at Jubileeni. Currently, it's 130,000 tons. We double it to 215. And we are commissioning it this quarter, very much doing the final tuning now. And then going forward, we will further increase capacity up to 400,000 tons of ore at Jubileeni. So that's really one of the major growth projects for the company going forward. And then Perivalne, we moved to heap leach operations there. So we have the ore which have been already mined. We finalized construction this year, and then we produced the first gold the next year. And in terms of heap leach operation, it's a low-cost operation, so it would help us to reduce our TCC, total cash cost, further.
Okay, so that was the last we had the possibility to hear from you. So I'm thanking you so much, or as I would like to say, очень хорошо.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.